Prices are going up, but that don't mean you need to smell like butt. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. 30 different fragrances that you can pick up for about 30 bucks each. Some of the best smelling fragrances out there that you can get on a budget, and this will cover you for the entire year. All of these are linked down below. We begin with this. All Nashama Caprice by Lattafa, which smells similar to La Nuit de L'Homme Bleu Electrique, which, because it's discontinued, is now crazy expensive. Thanks, YSL. Appreciate that one. Basically smells similar to La Nuit de L'Homme if you turned it into a blue fragrance, and it has that same kind of compliment pulling factor along with year-round versatility. This one, a lot of times nowadays, about $20. Nice. Gulf Orchid Mango Ice up next. This smells similar to God of Fire. It concentrates more, of course, on the mango and the ice. Oh, what a coincidence. It's weird. But yeah, this one very refreshing and brisk, perfect for spring and summer daytime. Ladies love this. A Riffs fragrance that doesn't suck. It exists. Momento, which smells similar to Arabian's Tonka by Montal. Now with this one, you need to be aware the first time you spray it on, it smells a little bit like Dr. Jack Daniels. Alcohol. It's got an alcohol smell to it. But after about a week of sitting, the stuff much better, much smoother, and it's gonna get you that Arabian's Tonka scent profile on the cheap. So there's a reason that this one is hyped so much as far as the Riffs brand goes. It deserves it. Now you can't have a lineup of fragrances that you can pick up for about $30 or under without having one that smells like this. Not this. More specifically though, Latent Exclusive, which is what this smells similar to, and it is named appropriately Detour Noir Exclusive. You could also roll with the original Detour Noir, which is gonna smell closer to the original Latent if you would rather go that route. That one's typically a little bit less. This one's gonna give you a little more push as a great atomizer. They upgraded it with a pressurized one, and it has a little bit more of a darkness, slightly more bold than the original Detour Noir. Perfect for fall and winter time. And nowadays, kind of gets overlooked, which is kind of crazy because Latent and Latent Exclusive, some of the biggest niche fragrances of all time, but when you consider how many different clones come out every single week, it makes more sense. Stuff falls by the wayside as new things come out, but that good. Now I want to switch it up with something that is an actual designer release. Varvatos Artisan Pure. Lots of Varvatos stuff is cheap at discounters. I mean, if you go into your local Macy's or something, obviously it's not gonna be, but at discounters they are. And this one right here, one of the best if you're looking for a banger on a budget. The only downfall is it is not the strongest thing out there. Yeah, this is a citrus forward fragrance, really clean, fresh, high-end smelling, frankly. Almost like a budget Tom Ford to an extent as far as how it comes across. But yeah, it's not a beast. That being said, this stuff is office safe. People love how it smells. It is absolutely not going to offend anyone ever. And you can rock with this all summer long, easy. Which makes me think of this one right here. Nautica Voyage. That's right, boys, Nautica Voyage is back on the menu. Yeah, this stuff, you can find it under $20 a lot of the time. And everybody and their mama knows Nautica Voyage. I think it's like a pre-written rule or something that the first time any man or teenager or boy or whatever wants to start learning about how to smell better, they somehow stumble across this. Like pretty much always. I think it's because they type in absolute best cheap aquatic fragrance. Enter, and then, oh. So yeah, this one has been a staple pretty much ever since it came out, and it has gotten a decent amount of hate over the years also. A lot of people going like, actually, Voyage sucks. It's very brave of you to say that the $16 fragrance sucks. It's bold, it's bold. And to me, this does not suck. It has become that type of fragrance that a lot of people will view as kind of basic, but that's because it is affordable for everyone. Like legitimately everyone. A 13-year-old with an allowance can pick this one up. And that's not a bad thing. Fragrance doesn't need to be gate kept. At least in my opinion, it's not something where, you know, you're wearing something that's $300 or $400 or $500 and that makes you a better person, right? You may be a better person, but it's not because of your fragrance. Nautica Voyage, very clean, super easy to wear, fresh out of the shower type vibes. Very pleasant green apple note in there, decent performance for an aquatic, just an overall easy wearing scent. Rayhan Elixir up next, and most Rayhan fragrances you can find right in that $30 price range, unless it's one of their brand new ones. and then those are usually like 45. But as time goes, they typically trickle down as far as the pricing goes, and they settle somewhere around like 30 to 35 for the most part. This one smells similar to Le Male Elixir. There are a bunch of dupes of that out there. This is one of the best ones. It's gonna get you very good performance, fall and winter, an absolute stunner. Nitro by Dumont has a lot of affordable fragrances. Nitro Red is the one that most people are keen on, or also the new Nitro Gold, which Nitro Red smells kind of like Invictus or Invictus Aqua with a smattering of Baccarat Rouge 540. Nitro Gold is more like Uomo Born in Roma, the Eau de Toilette, although it could remind some people of the Intense with a smattering of Millésime Imperial. But the one I want to highlight is this one, Platinum, because Platinum is worth more than gold. Unless we're talking about these fragrances, it's actually cheaper as far as the fragrances go. This one smells similar to Cod Au Frisson by Lattafa or 9 PM Rebel by Afnan, which means it could also remind you a little bit, bits and pieces, of Creed's Aventus. A great year-round fragrance, tons of versatility with a great balance of freshness and sweetness. Assad Elixir by Lattafa up next. This stuff smells similar to Boss Bottled Absolute, and it has been around just long enough that it started to dip down into that $30 price range. You could also go with the original Assad, which smells similar to Sauvage Elixir, or Assad Bourbon, which smells similar to The Most Wanted, with Born in Roma Intense as well, just kind of a mix of those. Another clean aquatic designer up next, Missoni Wave. This one also gets talked about all the time, like Nautica Voyage, but it gets less hate. It's about $30, assuming you buy a tester bottle, because the price has gone up a little bit over the years, but it's still really affordable. And this smells similar to Versace Pour Homme or Chanel Allure Homme Sport, kind of right in that style. Perfect for spring, summer, and early fall, also office safe. The next one is way under the radar, but before we hit that one, a bunch of codes you can use to save money. They're also in the description. So this is across a bunch of different discounter websites. For Fragflex, for example, you can get 10% off your order anytime that you shop there, and you can use that code as many times as you shop there. Also have codes for the Perfume Box, for Gift Express, Fragrance Lord, Beauty House, and JOMASHOP. So that's gonna cover most of the big fragrance discounters out there where you can pick up all these different scents for that $30 price point. Encre Indigo by Lalique is up next. Now, this is not for everybody. It has an interesting tea note, also vetiver in there as well. In typical Lalique fashion, it's really classy. It's probably going to appeal more to guys middle-aged and up, and it's not a crazy loud fragrance. But the quality is amazing for the price point because, again, this stuff has dropped down to about 30 bucks. Not that long ago, it would have cost you like 3 times that amount. Kamra Kawa by Lattafa. This right here, fall and winter time monster. The performance is there, the compliment factor is there. It basically smells like the original Kamra, which is really sweet and sexy, but then with the additional note of coffee. The next one for lovers of fragrances that smell similar to Louis Vuitton, which is pretty pricey. 30 bucks will never get you a Louis Vuitton unless it's a knockoff. Wait a second. The scent is Rare Reef. And this one is gonna get you a very similar scent profile to Pacific Chill. So we're talking a ton of citrus, mint, apricot, fig, just a whole lot of fruity sweetness, very brisk, absolutely perfect for when it's really hot outside and you want some attention. The next one is one of the cheaper fragrances in the list. You can find it for about $21 to $22 or so. Fakar Platine by Lattafa, which smells similar to YSL Elixir, which that stuff at full retail over $200, so pretty decent savings. Just like Y Elixir, you can wear that one year round whenever you want. It does have like a little tropical twist to it, so it's not the exact same as the Y, but it's close enough that if you're familiar with that fragrance, when you spray this on, you're gonna know right away what it smells similar to. And while I said this is one of the cheapest ones, I think the next one may be the cheapest, alongside this one, which is kind of funny because they look kind of similar as far as the bottle shape and everything. This is from Fragrance World, it's Starmin Nebula. This one smells similar to a discontinued Mugler fragrance that is crazy expensive nowadays, Pure Malt, which is one of the best boozy fragrances that's ever been made in the designer realm. And unfortunately, like I said, it's been discontinued for years, so the price has skyrocketed. If you can find it and it's not a fake, you're gonna pay $300 plus. This though, about 15. Now earlier I said you can't do one of these lists and not have a PDM Layton style fragrance, but you also can't do one of these lists and not have a PDM Altair fragrance because them's the rules. And I know you're thinking, oh, it's gonna be Liquid Brun. You're wrong. It's Historic Sahara. This stuff is a sleeper. It is sneaky good. Doesn't get talked about as much, but around $25 to $28 or so, depending on where you're shopping. This stuff lasts an eternity, amazingly sweet and attention grabbing, and one of the better Altair dupes out there. Let's go back to the designer realm. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Explorer. Wrong, Starwalker. Yeah, this one is gonna be a little more particular. Explorer, you can rock with that one. It smells similar to Aventus. This one, way more under the radar, actually has a note of bamboo, which is not super common. And this is more of a chill, calming fragrance, relaxing, clean, classy, elegant even. Absolutely love this stuff, and it is dirt cheap. By the way, gonna do a giveaway for 2 fragrances in just a little bit, but next let's talk Nicus Luna. Very unassuming as far as the presentation goes. This one is Zamaya. Oh, nice, very good. Smells like a Reserve Privé. Gentleman Reserve Privé. So if you like iris-based fragrances and you're thinking to yourself, man, they're always expensive. You know, Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, not to be confused with Born in Roma Intense, the Gentleman line, Narciso Rodriguez, Bleu Noir Parfum, all of those, you know, you're thinking, they're always $80, $90. You can rock with this. Very inexpensive quality, is absolutely amazing for the price point. Lattafa Havoc, this right here, another discontinued fragrance brought back to life, dressed up like Alucard from Symphony of the Night. Heck yeah, dude. I love the Dracula bottle. It's so like tacky and friggin' awesome at the same time. I need more of this injected into my veins. Got the purple bottle, the little faux crystals, the plastic cage that they slide over top. It's art, it's cinema. This smells like Essence de Parfum in the Le Male line, which is not really thought of anymore nowadays. Somewhat sugary leather, also similar to CH Men Privé. So it can get you that discontinued scent profile for much less. You could also, of course, just rock with Boss Bottled. Yeah, just straight up regular Boss Bottled. You can pick that stuff up nowadays for about 30 bucks. 50 ml size bottle, but still. Classic fragrance, of course, has that kind of apple pie scent profile to it. You may say, it's a little outdated, bro. But I'll tell you what, it still sells well, and the reason is because people like it. So, under 30 bucks, still solid. Jasur by Lattafa. This one's been kind of a favorite of mine ever since it came out because it is very, very affordable. Anybody can rock with this. And yet it did not take off quite as much as some of the other Lattafa fragrances out there. Not that it's a hidden gem necessarily, but I think it is really, really easily worth the money. It smells like Born in Roma Coral Fantasy, and you can wear this one year round. Armaf up next, one of the Club de Nuits, and to be fair, most of the Club de Nuits you could throw into here because a lot of them are hovering right in that $30 range. I've got Milestone right here, which smells like Millésime Imperial, but you could also go with the original, which smells similar to Aventus. You could go with Iconic, which smells similar to Bleu de Chanel, the Eau de Parfum. You could also go with Sillage, it smells similar to Silver Mountain Water, but yeah, Club de Nuit, kind of your choice. You could just pop it in here. A fragrance that does not make any sense as far as the name, but who really cares? Vintage Radio by Lattafa. Does it smell like a vintage radio would smell? I would assume no. I have never stuck my nose to an AI generated vintage radio before, but had I done so, I think it would smell quite different. Why do I keep getting shorter? I'm not sure. But that right there smells similar to Paragon by Initio Parfum, only much cheaper. Versace The Dreamer is up next, and this is another one for somebody looking for something a little bit different, which I've always really enjoyed The Dreamer. I've got this one, which is the OG bottle. I also have a newer bottle as well. Both are quite nice. But do be aware that the Dreamer is not gonna be for everybody. It has kind of a dry tobacco note. It has lavender in there a decent amount. It's masculine, it's classy, it's a little bit classic because it has been out for decades, but it is not hyper sweet at all. So very different compared to most of your new releases nowadays. Tarothi Blue. You can't go wrong with this. Summertime staple, about $30. That's gonna give you Bulgari Tiger vibes, very citrus forward, extremely easy to wear in high heat, and another one where the quality is much higher than the price you're gonna pay. For the bros out there who just wanna smell classy, well put together, and like a businessman. Legacy by Armaf. Kind of a weird Zippo type bottle. This smells similar to Platinum Egoiste by Chanel, and it is one of the cheaper fragrances here, a lot of times about $20. French Avenue Zenith Tobacco smells similar to Tobacular by Dior. That one is a great tobacco scent profile, very different from the Dreamer over here. Sweeter with kind of a peachy nuance, also some smoke that wafts throughout. Nice pipe tobacco scent. If you want Acqua di Gio vibes, specifically Acqua di Gio Profumo for under 20 bucks, you can go with Sucrac by Lataffa. The only drawback, the performance is so-so. But for about 16 bucks, who cares? Spray it on heavy. Fusion DC Extreme by AC Miyake. Under 30 bucks, you can also roll with the original Fusion DC, but this one's a little bit better as far as performance goes. And it's gonna give you an interesting coconut-forward scent profile with minerality mixed in. Don't think as sweet as something like Le Beau, but it's vaguely in the same wheelhouse. This one is just going to be more aromatic and, like I said, have more of a minerality to it. We're gonna finish up with All Barari Coral by Zamaya, which smells similar to Blue Talisman if it had just a tiny bit of God of Fire mixed in. And as sort of a quick bonus, Azzaro Chrome. Most of the Azzaro Chrome fragrances are pretty cheap at discounters. So if you want something in that fresher wheelhouse, you can just check out the Chrome lineup in pretty much any discounter's website. And the OG still works. It's like the quintessential shower gel fragrance. Giveaway stuff. Carnal Desire X Xandol. Still sealed. These are, of course, both by French Avenue, done in collaboration with Aromatics. That's why his name's on the front. If you want to be interested in the giveaway for these, just leave me a comment down below. What's your go-to fragrance that is about 30 bucks? Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. If you win the giveaway, it will be on the post tab of my YouTube channel. Hit me up. I'll ship those out to you. Good luck, guys. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.